All right. Looks like everyone's trickling back in. Cool. So now that we have looked a little bit at some of these practices from a theoretical perspective, let's get on the ground and see what they actually look like in practice. So you don't get far in Vermont looking into pollinator-friendly solar practices without the name Mike Kiernan coming up sooner or later, usually sooner. So Mike has been sort of an integral part of this whole process, doing the actual on-ground work, implementing the practice. And I don't know anybody who knows more about the on-ground challenges that can be presented than Mike Kiernan. So he's prepared a short video for us to kind of take us through some of his sites, and we can see what they actually look like. And then he'll say a few words afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and play that video for you.
And Jason, is this video only or is it audio with it?
There is audio. Are you not hearing it?
I do not.
Okay. There is. Let's see if I can try this.
Farmers are struggling.
Got it.
In Vermont, we lose about half our farms. One survival strategy is for the farmer to engage with a solar developer for a part of their land so that whatever might happen with the price of milk, or hay, or corn, there's a guaranteed income for the next 25 years from at least that portion of their property. Since 2015, we've been creating habitat in solar fields to support pollinators. Now we're in over 20 fields. With the acreage coming online, it will be equivalent to every Vermont household creating a 6x6 pollinator garden, and they should, too. It's all about the power of mutualism. Pollinators are drawn to flowers for a bit of nectar or pollen. They carry that pollen from one plant to another and allow that rooted plant to reproduce as if it could itself fly. Here's a mutually beneficial space where the farmer gets some sustainable income that might allow them to survive, and a portion of our energy gets generated without warming the earth or fouling the air, and we create habitat that has an impact beyond the fence line. We have over 1,000 solar fields in Vermont. If even a portion of the next 1,000 fields gets treated with this approach, that may be sufficient to pollinate the entire 9,623 square miles of Vermont. We all know about survival of the fittest as a powerful force in nature, but mutualism is a powerful force too, and it multiplies the beneficiaries: farmer, climate, solar developer, pollinator, all benefit. And also the nearby fruits and vegetables, nuts and berries that rely on pollinators, and all of those species that consume them, including our own.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mike himself to say a few words. So welcome, Mike Kiernan of Be the Change.
Thank you. Can you hear me? I sounded really serious in that video. Thank you for putting this conference together and for all you who are participating. I really enjoyed that first panel. I learned a lot. And if I was to have something that I've experienced over 5 years that would make me expert in anything, it's how to do this. And I wish there was time to go on about how to do this. But what I'll say to anybody who's listening to this is I love to talk about how to do this. I'll come to your site. I've consulted on sites around the country, and that there's nothing to it. It's like baking bread. It's just taking a certain number of steps exactly right, exactly the right time. So please reach out to me. BeTheChangeHoney.com is our website, and I'll be happy to go tour whatever you've got that you're thinking about for creating pollinator habitat in. And I really enjoyed the first panel in terms of getting at why this is a priority and why this is important. And if I have just a few seconds to trespass on your attention, I'd like to just talk about what we can all do. Because, you know, the reason why Massachusetts has that adder program is because they had a constituency of people calling for it. And this is something, when we started 5 years ago, people would look at us like, well, no understanding of why that was important or a priority. And there is an awareness that's building. But moments like this, where there's conferences, they build constituency. We have educational spaces, we have demonstration fields, and we are now, because of the virus, we had trained docents to take school groups and flower groups, whoever wanted to, through the fields. Because of the virus, we're now developing signage that allows you to just walk through these and take tours. We have the first of 3 demonstration fields now installed, and it'll be ready for next spring with signs. But this is where getting out there and telling the story, going to your planning commissions, going to your regional planning commissions. In Stearns County in Minnesota, if you're going to install a solar field, you're required to plant for pollinators. And that's how Minnesota has leaped ahead of us. It's a very Vermonty idea to do this, because we have a sense of you can't be wasting space. You can't take a working landscape and take it offline for 25 years. At least this is doing something that appeals to those values. And there's the way that the legislature can be involved. And that's where calling for something like an adder I've been working with every legislator who holds still to work on something like that, because it comes out, otherwise it comes out of the skin of the solar developers. And they have a lot of hoops they have to jump through in order to get these sites approved. And their margin is made more slender by every hoop they jump through. This is something where, why is it only coming out of their skins to do this? But I have to salute the most forward-thinking solar developers who've engaged with us over the past 5 years. So we now are in fields all over the region. So I appreciate the fact that you guys are putting this together, and thank you for allowing me to participate. Please reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you.
Thanks so much, Mike. And Matt, looks like you shared the link to Be the Change Honey. So go ahead and check that out if you're not familiar with Mike's work. And thanks again, Mike. And now that we've seen the pollinator-friendly solar on the ground, see kind of what that looks like, we're going to take a little bit of a shift and look at what some of the grazing practices might look like. So I'm going to turn it over to Kimberly, if you've got that prepared.
Yeah, we'll see. It's been a week of technology difficulties. We'll see if this comes up. But I want to thank Mike. That's great. I appreciate, and I think I will be in touch with you. It is still, I would say we're still on the front edge of educating about this. I can say that, 4 years ago, I had a couple of towns call because they had large areas that they wanted to maintain, and they wanted, one of them had a solar field. And their question was, they didn't want to spray herbicides because there were vernal pools nearby, which kudos to them for thinking that way, and I appreciated it. But what we came up against very quickly was they automatically assumed that this would be free, that the shepherds would bring in the grazing animals and maintain all this for free. And as I tried to explain to them and to their planning commission and their select board, is that, this takes a lot of time for a shepherd. He's got to round up his sheep. He's got to figure out a way to provide water. So it's a lot of time and work on their part. And no, it is not free. And so that has been a big part of this education effort, working with the farmers and the solar companies and getting them to understand that, these are working people, this is a profession, and they deserve to be paid for it. So it's really great to see what Massachusetts is doing on that front. So this PowerPoint that I have for you is very brief. It's not very fancy at all. It's just one of the farms that I've been working with. It shows us the farmer, the shepherd, Amber Reed, as she moves her sheep into the solar array where she manages. She has a contract to do the management for this site, and how it's, you know, you divide up into smaller paddocks within the solar array, and she moves them every day or every other day. So let's see if I can make this work. So does everybody see it?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the site. You can see her, this is the farm, and then the solar array is up in the corner. All right, and here we go. Let's see how it works. Oh, I guess it's loading.
Kimberly, I can hear what sounds like the sheep, but I don't see the sheep.
You don't see them?
No. Does Alex, do you?
No, maybe you have to share that specific screen in your share screen function. Moving out of PowerPoint into that application using the share screen for that app.
Like stop sharing screen and then go back in and choose that
Yep.
screen.
All right, hang on a second. Sorry about that.
And if that doesn't seem to work, maybe what we'll have you do is just drop this link into the chat, and then people can view that at some point.
Yeah, I think that's what I might have to do.
Okay.
This has been so complicated of trying to, all right.
That's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you, Kimberly, and thank you,
Yeah.
Jason. Let's move on to our second set of panelists, and I'll hand it over to Alex, and Kimberly will put in the link to those photos in the chat, and